This is Zach Clark, Development and Leadership Coaching, and I want to introduce you to a concept that we teach the leaders that we serve, and it's really on the topic of how you use goals and milestones to actually change people's behavior, to move them toward action. How do you use goals and milestones to change behavior? Now, one of the core beliefs that we have and that we teach is that in terms of raising support, raising money to move your ministry forward, goals do not raise money. People do. Goals do not raise money. People do. The people who are doing the work of development, helping people see and understand what God is doing, challenging them to have the impact that only they can have. That's the work, and that's done by people, and God uses people to bring about the results that He has called you to do. So, goals do not raise money, people do. You could also say goals don't get things done, people get things done. So simply having a goal does not necessarily mean that it's moving people. Now here's the thing about this. While I have held that core belief for a long time, and I've seen it proven out over and over again, I have seen, and you've seen this too, there is a relationship between goals and people making decisions. You know, some people are very motivated by goals. At least we think this is what we see, right? This is kind of common thinking, let's set a goal and people are going to get moving toward it. But research has found that there's a whole lot of people who goals don't motivate them at all. In fact, goals are frightening to them. Goals are maybe demotivating to them. They would rather solve problems than just run after goals. They like just today, here's a set of problems, I'm going to work on that, and the next day I'm going to work on that. And those people can get results as well. So what is going on here? There was another thing that's begun to become clear to me. And a number of years back, I began to get very troubled by the fact that the successful achievement of goals seems to contribute to the future failure of achieving new goals. Now, let me say that again. I've begun to notice that the successful achievement of goals contributes to the future failure of achieving new goals. Now, why does this seem to happen? Well, you've seen this yourself. What happens is you'll achieve this goal. You thought it was impossible. Nobody knew for sure if we could do this. And yet we did. We accomplished it. Yay, there's a celebration. So let's just set that goal again, or let's set a little bit bigger goal. And then you get people working on this, and this is what I've seen happen, and you've seen it too. Here's what happens. They say, well, last time we achieved this goal, here's what we did, or this is what we saw work. And what they do is they look at that and they say, let's improve that, let's tweak that. How could we do that a little bit better? The problem with this is that before, when you had not achieved the goal, when you didn't know for sure if it was even possible, it took real new thinking, creative thinking. It took a willingness to fail and try some things. And when you've been successful, your tolerance level for trying new things starts to slip, doesn't it? So this is troubling. We know goals help some people. We know goals don't mean anything to certain people. We know that setting a big goal is just as likely to motivate someone as discourage them. And then we also see that the achievement of goals actually makes it harder for people to be creative and innovate and test things and try things and have a willingness to fail as they're trying to produce this big goal. So what do we do with this? Well, here's what we teach. First of all, we recommend that you use steps and milestones instead of just goals. Now, this is not just word selection here, okay? Steps and milestones. Steps and milestones both kind of imply that you're moving forward. If it's a step, that means there were steps previously. We're moving forward. Each step is building upon the previous. A goal, you hit a goal, then you set another goal, and you set another goal. That begins to wear people down. So let's just keep walking forward. Here are our steps. Make sure you have some very clear steps. We also recommend de-emphasizing the big giving goals. You know, we can certainly have big goals, but for some people that really can be overwhelming to them. They just don't see how what they're doing relates to that big goal. So even when you have a big goal, let's de-emphasize that. Let's use that strategically. Instead, let's let our goal, our steps, and our milestones keep people moving forward. Here's where we've been. Here's where we're going. Here's where we are. Here's the next step. We can take that step as soon as you get engaged in serving or giving or working or whatever it is. So that's one thing that we teach. Another thing that we teach is to use goals to shape behavior internally. Since we know that goals don't raise money, people do, or goals don't change people, people have to change themselves. Setting a goal internally can be a very big help. So not necessarily communicating this to everyone externally, but internally on your team saying, here is our goal. And one of the most powerful, almost scary ways to do this is to say, and we'll use a giving goal as an example, we would like to raise $500,000 in the next 6 months. That's a big goal, right? But a great way to help your team is to say, you know what, we're going to change this. We're going to make our goal internally. We're going to raise $500,000 every month for the next 6 months. Now, what do we have to do differently to actually raise that $500,000 every month for the next 6 months rather than $500,000 total in the next 6 months? Well, after people get over the initial shock and reaction, what you see is new thinking, new ideas, new focus, new priorities start emerging. A powerful, powerful technique. So just recalibrate the timing and do that internally. Do that as a thinking exercise rather than a beating people over the head exercise. And then the third thing that we teach is to use milestones to help move people forward externally. So that's where you take that bigger goal and you say, we've been working on this for a while, you've been hearing about this, here's the next milestone ahead. We have a milestone goal of $500,000 in the next 6 months, and that's going to move us forward to our larger goal, where we really want to be long term. So very, very powerful. Now, the last thing I would say about goals versus steps and milestones is that goals have to have teeth if they're real. If you start throwing out, we need $500,000 given in the next 6 months, and then you fail in that, and yet somehow life goes on as usual, you just set a goal and worked at it. The goal has to have teeth, and so that's why I think milestones and steps help people, because a goal should be something that if you miss that goal, things will look different. We will not be able to be who we wanted to be. This is going to take us longer. Goals need to have teeth. Steps and milestones, you can just kind of hit a pause button on a step, can't you? So word choice is important, and this will help you see those changes in behavior, giving behavior, team behavior, that are so, so critical. So that's really the basic technique that we teach people on how this works. I'll look forward to hearing about how you apply this. Would love to get your questions, and of course would love to know how we can be an encouragement to you in the future as well. Thank you.